Hello. Okay, so let's look at question number 5. The diagrams show the results of 3 tests on a food sample. Which nutrients were present in the food sample? Okay, so it's like what was happening here was they got a food sample. Now they tested that food sample for 3 nutrients. Okay, and they wanted to investigate which nutrients are present in that particular food sample. So the first diagram is showing a situation where they got a food sample, then they had to smear it on a filter paper. Okay, so you get a food sample, then you smear it on a filter paper. Now after smearing that same food sample on a filter paper, a translucent spot mark appeared. A translucent spot mark appeared on the filter paper. So immediately you see a situation like that, whereby you get a food sample and then you smear it. Let's say you get butter, then you smear the butter on a filter paper, and then you see a translucent spot mark. Just conclude to say that particular food sample contains fats or lipids. Okay, so that's the identity. When you smear a food sample which contains lipids on a filter paper, you see a translucent mark. It simply means that food sample contains what? Lipids. Okay, then diagram number 2, the same food sample was tested for reducing sugars. Okay, why am I saying so? Because on top there is Benedict solution. Okay, so Benedict solution was boiled, okay, and then tested the same food sample for what? For reducing sugars. So we know that when you're testing a food sample for reducing sugars, okay, number 1, if that food sample contains reducing sugars, there is a chemical reaction in terms of color changes. Number 1, the color is going to change from blue, which is the color for Benedict solution. Then from blue it changes to green. Then from green changes to yellow. Then from yellow to red. And finally we have what you call a red precipitate. Red precipitate. So red precipitate, that's a positive result in terms of the color changes for presence of reducing sugars. So since a red precipitate was observed, okay, it simply means the food sample contained reducing sugars. Then the last one was test for starch. The same food sample was tested for starch. Why are we talking about starch? Because we have iodine solution on the third diagram. Iodine solution. Okay, iodine solution represents the test for what? Starch. Okay, so after the test for starch was conducted, a yellow color was observed. Yellow color was observed. Okay, now the positive result in terms of the color changes for presence of starch, you see a blue-black color. Now in this case it was yellow color, meaning starch was absent. Starch was not present. Okay, so diagram 1 and diagram 2. Diagram 1 shows that fats were present, and diagram 2 shows that reducing sugars were present. So the correct answer for question number 5, ladies and gentlemen, is B, fat and reducing sugar only. So the answer is B.